My wife moved in with a neighbor to explore her feelings. She thought I would be waiting for her, but I made a choice that shattered her world. I need some clarity because I'm trying not to completely lose my mind. Last Tuesday, my wife Ava, 32, sat me down after dinner with what I now realize was a rehearsed speech. After 8 years of marriage, she told me, I need some time to rediscover myself and reconnect with my creative vision. For context, I'm an AI ethicist at a major tech firm, focusing on data privacy and ensuring our algorithms don't harm people. Ava just received a promotion to creative director at a luxury hospitality firm 3 months ago, and I believed everything was stable. We had even discussed having children next year. She claimed the promotion was too much for her, and she required space to find her true creative voice. I'm not kidding, she really said that. Then came the twist. She had already arranged to stay in our neighbor William's guest room because he understands the pressures of running a creative business. William, 36, is the divorced man next door who operates a digital marketing agency. His ex-wife Linda still holds half of their house due to their messy divorce. He has always been the type to stand too close during conversations and brings up his Porsche within minutes. Ava packed a bag right then, saying it would only be for a month, kissed me on the cheek as if I was her grandmother, and walked next door. I watched from our bedroom window as William assisted her with her suitcase, his hand on her lower back. Here's what's raising all my red flags. She changed all her passwords last week for security reasons, started going to William's gym, suddenly developed a taste for wine when she used to dislike it, and worked late at the office, but her key card logs showed she left at 5 p.m. I checked with a friend in security. She also showed new interest in NFT art, and guess what? William's agency specializes in that. My best friend Finn, who is a divorce lawyer, advised me to document everything. My instincts scream at me to confront William, but I'm trying to be rational about this. Am I being paranoid, or is this exactly what it seems? Edit. To those saying I'm controlling for checking the key card logs, I work in data privacy. I know what's legal and what's not. Checking publicly available entry/exit logs that any employee can request is not stalking. It's due diligence. Update, posted 7 days later. Holy cow, you were all right. Every single one of you who told me to trust my instincts. I hired a private investigator through Finn's recommendation, Detective Martinez, who specializes in infidelity cases. I also started documenting everything myself using the forensic tools available to me. All legal. We share devices and accounts. Here's what I uncovered in 1 week. Digital evidence. I recovered deleted texts from our shared iPad. They've been involved for at least 2 months. I found hotel charges on our joint card labeled as client dinners at the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons. I cross-checked the dates with her calendar, and every late vendor meeting coincided with a rendezvous with William. She's been searching for apartments in William's neighborhood, and I found the browsing history on our home computer. They have a joint Pinterest board called Minimalist Love Nest 2024, featuring furniture, art pieces, and vacation destinations for couples. I also found a draft email in her Gmail shared account outlining her resignation and plans to start a creative consultancy with William. Physical evidence from Martinez included photos of them at 3 different gallery openings, all over each other, and security footage of her entering William's house at 2 p.m. on a day she claimed to be at a client's site. There's footage of them kissing in his Porsche in the parking garage of her office building, and her car was parked at his place overnight 3 times in the past week. The shocking part? Linda, William's ex, reached out to me yesterday. It turns out Ava has been going over for wine nights with William for the past 4 months. Linda has been documenting everything because William is violating their divorce agreement by having overnight guests without her consent. She still owns 50% of the house. Linda showed me texts between William and his business partner discussing how Ava would help them secure her company's rebranding contract worth about $2 million. I've been sleeping in our bed while my wife is next door planning a future with this guy, using my financial stability as her safety net while she finds herself. Finn has drawn up the papers, and I have a plan. I found something interesting in our filing cabinet. A power of attorney she signed when we refinanced the house last year. She never revoked it. I'm done being the understanding husband. It's time to take decisive action. Update 2, posted 7 days later. The plan is in motion. First, let me address some comments. No, I'm not lowering myself to her level. I'm protecting my assets and dignity. When someone declares war on your marriage, You don't respond with a strongly worded letter. Here's what I've been doing: financial maneuvering. I used my tech connections to find a cash buyer for our house, closing in 10 days. I set up an irrevocable trust for the house proceeds, completely legal and bulletproof. I moved $400,000 in cryptocurrency from early investments and consulting to a cold wallet and withdrew the maximum allowed from our joint accounts daily without triggering notifications. I canceled all joint credit cards and opened new ones in my name only. Strategic positioning. I started moving my belongings slowly: home office, rare book collection, personal items, all going to a storage unit. I set up a new apartment downtown with smart home technology featuring military-grade digital security. I documented every piece of evidence with timestamps and cryptographic hashes. Finn filed the divorce papers but hasn't served them yet. Timing is everything. The Linda Alliance. She's filing for William's eviction based on violations of their divorce decree. We coordinated our timelines. She lacked the same day I do. She's been photographing his purchases, new furniture, jewelry, while claiming he can't pay increased alimony. Digital warfare. I legally preserved all evidence of Ava using company resources for personal matters. I found her posting in a private Facebook group about following her heart and not being held back by conventional expectations. William has been telling clients he's about to secure a major hospitality contract with Ava's company. The best part? Ava has been texting me daily, playing the concerned wife. How are you? I just need this time to clear my head. You understand, right? Yesterday she sent, "Thank you for being so patient and understanding. This is why I married you. You always put my needs first." I responded, "Take all the time you need." She has no idea what's coming. For more days until execution. Update 3. Posted 6 days later. Tomorrow is D-Day. Everything is in place. The house closes in the morning, the movers arrive at noon, and the process servers are on standby. But first, let me tell you about this week's developments because Ava and William have gotten careless. The escalation. Ava came by the house Wednesday to pick up some work clothes, spending an hour trying to initiate intimacy. When I declined, saying I was respecting her space, she looked genuinely offended. I found out she told her family I suggested the separation because I was too focused on work. She's been introducing William to her colleagues as a visionary creative partner. They went to Cabo for a business development trip last weekend and posted photos on Instagram as if I don't exist. Critical intel. Ava's company has a strict policy regarding conflicts of interest. Employees cannot engage in business relationships that might compromise vendor selection. Linda discovered William took out a $50,000 loan against the house for his business expansion without her consent, which is illegal per their agreement. My legal team confirmed that if Ava used her corporate laptop for personal communications, they can demand a full forensic review. The setup. I hired the best moving company in the city, 2 crews for trucks, military precision. The new apartment is ready. I've already moved my irreplaceable items and set up mail forwarding to a P.O. box starting tomorrow. All utilities are scheduled for disconnection at noon tomorrow. I changed the beneficiaries on my life insurance and 401k. Her fatal mistake. She texted me tonight. William and I are going to a gallery opening tomorrow morning. There's an artist who might be perfect for the hotel rebrand. I'll be home Sunday to talk about us. I think this time apart has given me clarity. Perfect. She'll be publicly surrounded by her industry peers when her world collapses. Linda just texted. Locked and loaded on my end. Finn sent the papers. They're signed and sealed. The process server is briefed. My out of office is set, and my resignation letter is submitted. Yes, I'm leaving too. I got a better offer as chief privacy officer at a competitor. Tomorrow, while she's sipping champagne and playing power couple with William, I'm going to systematically dismantle the life she thought she could have at my expense. The anticipation is more thrilling than anything. Update 4, Detonation Day. Posted 2 days later. I'm writing this from my new apartment, bourbon in hand, watching the city lights. Let me tell you about the most satisfying 24 hours of my life. The morning, 9 a.m. I woke up on what would be my last morning in that house. Ava texted at 7 a.m., heading to the gallery. Wish me luck with the artist. Love you. I responded, good luck. Today will be unforgettable. 10 a.m., the house sale. I met the buyers at the title company. Clean cash deal closed in 30 minutes. The proceeds, $790,000, went straight into the irrevocable trust one set up, completely untouchable in the divorce. 11 a.m., the preparation. Moving trucks arrived early. For crews worked simultaneously: kitchen, bedrooms, garage, office. Every single item I had purchased, inherited, or cared about was boxed and gone within 2 hours. I left behind her clothes, her inspiration board, the furniture she picked out, and a single envelope on the kitchen counter. 1 p.m., the synchronization. I received a text from Linda. William just got served at his office. He's freaking out. Finn confirmed the process server has eyes on Ava at the gallery. 1:47 p.m., the strike. Ava is served divorce papers in the middle of the gallery, surrounded by her colleagues and clients. The server, an ex-military, announces clearly, "Ava Chun, you're being served." According to witnesses, she turned white, then red, and started shaking. 2:15 p.m., the realization. She called me 47 times in 10 minutes. I didn't answer. Then the text started. "What the F is this? Answer your phone. This has to be a mistake. Where are you? I'm coming home now." 2:45 p.m., the homecoming. She arrives to find moving trucks pulling away, her belongings in boxes on the lawn, a locksmith changing the locks, and Linda and a sheriff's deputy evicting William from next door. Her company's IT security team was waiting with a laptop recovery notice. They confiscated her work laptop on the spot and informed her she was suspended pending an investigation for conflict of interest violations. 3:30 p.m., the meltdown. I finally answered her call. The screeching was glorious. She yelled, "You psychopath. You can't do this. That's my house too." I replied, "Check the deed and power of attorney." 4 p.m., the collapse. William, freshly evicted and served with Linda's lawsuit, arrives to find his girlfriend's life in boxes and his belongings scattered across his former lawn. They try to enter my house. The new locks hold firm. They argue with the sheriff, who threatens arrest. 6 p.m., the aftermath begins. By evening, the fallout was spreading. Ava's company placed her on administrative leave. William's biggest client pulled out due to concerns about his professional judgment. Their joint Pinterest board went private. Too late, I screenshotted everything. My phone exploded with mutual friends wanting the real story. The beautiful twist. Remember that $2 million contract Ava was going to steer to William? Her company's CEO called me personally to thank me for the ethics alert. They're reviewing all her vendor relationships going back 2 years. As I write this, I'm in my new place, floor-to-ceiling windows, a smart home system that would make Batman jealous. Ava's last text, "I loved you. I just needed to find myself." My response, "You found yourself a liar living in a motel." Then I blocked her on everything. Final update, posted 15 days later, 2 weeks since detonation. Time for the final update on this saga. Her downfall. Ava was terminated from her creative director position after the investigation revealed she had been directing contracts to William's firm in exchange for kickbacks and using company cards for personal trips with him, violating multiple policies. She's now toxic in the hospitality industry. Word travels fast when you mess over a major brand. William's agency fell apart. 3 major clients withdrew contracts citing ethical concerns. Last I heard, he's moving back in with his mother in Jersey. The legal resolution. My lawyer is amazing. Since I had documented evidence of adultery and financial misconduct, the divorce was seamless. She got her belongings, her car with the loan, and has to pay $50,000 from our joint savings. The judge's decision wasn't mine. I kept the trust's $790,000 in sale proceeds, all retirement accounts, my crypto holdings, and my sanity. The best part, Ava and William turned on each other when reality hit. She blamed him for seducing her and ruining her career, while he accused her of using him for his connections. They had a public argument at a Starbucks that went viral on TikTok. Both attempted to reach out to me separately to explain their sides. Ava's been texting from new numbers. "I made a mistake. Can we talk?" I was confused. "You were the love of my life. I'll do anything." I blocked her again. My life now. I started my new role as Chief Privacy Officer with a 40% pay increase and a better equity package. The new apartment is perfect, with a proper home office and meditation space for my rare books. I even started dating a data scientist from my new company. She's brilliant and honest, and she calls me out when needed. Linda and I became friends through this chaos. She sent me a bottle of champagne with a note for taking out the trash. Final thoughts. 8 years of marriage ended because she needed space to find herself. She found herself unemployed, living in an extended stay motel, and with a reputation destroyed by her own choices. I gave her all the space she wanted, the entire universe, in fact. To everyone going through something similar, document everything. Protect yourself. Don't sacrifice your well-being for someone else. And when they reveal their true nature, believe them the first time. I'm not proud of everything I did, but I'm proud I didn't let her turn me into a fool funding her new life while she was with the neighbor. Thanks for following this journey. I'm logging off and living my life. Remember, the best revenge is massive success. Digital Justice 2024, signing off. Edit, to answer some common questions. Yes, this is real. I have the evidence, court documents, and a significantly improved net worth to prove it. No, I don't feel guilty. She made her choices, and I made mine. The house sale was legal, and my power of attorney and single-party deed gave me the advantage. I'm in therapy. Handling anger constructively is crucial. William's Porsche was repossessed last week, and Linda sent me the video. Final edit. DMs are disabled. No, I won't help you hack your partner. Yes, Finn is a real lawyer. No, you can't have Linda's number. She's not interested in dating right now. Peace out. Story 2. I want to start by saying I, 38M, love my family and my wife, 35F, and I've never been the type to do anything like this before. 12 months ago, my wife converted to a new religion, which involved her giving up meat. The whole family, including our 2 young boys, supported her, and we had a vegetarian-only dinner that night as a sign of support. Life continued for another 8 months, basically unchanged. The boys and I ate meat while my wife didn't. However, things started to shift around the 8 to 10 month mark. I can't remember exactly. Along with not eating meat, my wife no longer wanted to be around it. This wasn't the only change. Things escalated. My wife began replacing items in the house with substitutes. First, she swapped out pork for jackfruit. Eggs were replaced with alternatives like just egg. She only bought shirts from ethical brands like plant-based clothing and switched to scentless deodorants. You get the picture. To say this was causing tension would be an understatement. Eventually, I told my wife that while we fully supported her decisions, I didn't think it should change things for the boys and me unless they wanted to. She argued that her values had shifted and being around certain things was difficult for her, and she wanted us to support her. For the next 2 to 3 months, the atmosphere at home was tense. It got so bad that the boys had friends sneaking them meat from their homes since it was no longer available at ours. A week ago, my wife went away on a business trip for a few days, meaning I was watching the boys Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm a bit ashamed to admit this, but the boys and I mostly ate meat at every opportunity. We had a great time until my wife returned home, and it somehow came out what we had done. I've never seen her so disappointed in us. After putting the boys to bed, we argued for hours about how I was setting a bad example for the boys and that I should respect her decisions, even if they were tough and inconvenient. It's hard to argue back because I can see her side, but it boils down to the fact that I don't want to be vegetarian or vegan, and neither do the boys. Am I in the wrong? Some comments, not the wrong one. She said she got rid of meat because she couldn't be around it. Well, she wasn't home. Also, you guys didn't convert to a new religion, so she can't expect you to follow it. I don't see the problem when she wasn't there. Opie should have just refused to follow the diet so they wouldn't feel guilty for cheating while she was gone. Update. I want to thank everyone again for your input. My wife and I sat down and read through most of the top comments, which helped her see some of the issues we were dealing with. Here's a quick recap of the first post. 12 months ago, my wife converted to a new religion that involved giving up meat. Along with not eating meat, she didn't want to be around it. Things escalated as she started replacing items in the house with substitutes. The boys were sneaking meat at school. It boiled over when the boys and I had meat dinners while my wife was away. After my last post went viral, my wife and I sat down to discuss everything, using the comments as a guide. Some comments were pretty harsh, but after hours of debate, we came to a conclusion that's hard to articulate. Essentially, the boys should be able to live as they wish, as they didn't choose to be part of this family. However, I chose to be part of this family and be with my wife. If I can't align with her values, I need to decide if I want to continue being part of this family. So, the boys are off the hook until they're older and can make their own choices. But to continue with my wife, I need to make sacrifices and meet her values, too. I know Reddit may not want to hear this, but I'm willing to make sacrifices to keep my family together and allow the boys their freedom. When I wrote the original post, I cared a lot about my boys being able to choose their lifestyle, whether it's the one we have or something entirely different. I believe we're now at a place where that's possible. I don't use Reddit much, but I'll check back in a month or two to update on how we're doing. Am I wrong for sacrificing this much to keep my family united? Relevant comments. Not wrong for making the sacrifice, but this is the start of a slippery slope. She'll need you to keep meeting her values. You chose to be part of this family, and if you can't meet her values, you should decide if you want to stay in this family. This argument is flawed. You didn't initially choose to be part of this family. You created it together on terms you both agreed on. She unilaterally changed some terms and expects you to still follow the original ones. That's unfair. You need to renegotiate. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.